Hi, everybody. Good morning. Thank you for joining me this morning. My name is Ani Pomo. I am a Buddhist nun and the director of Songtsen Gampo Buddhist Center of Cleveland. Today, we are going to be spending the first half hour in meditation, and the second half hour, we're going to be doing the Buddha Sadhana since today is a Buddha day. Excuse me, I'm just getting my things together. So if you don't have the sadhana already in front of you, then look in the description below. There's a link to download it, or you can just pull it up on your computer. And if you don't have the closing prayers, or you have an old version of the closing prayers, make sure you download that too, or whatever, just follow the link, okay? So I need to bring up those things before we start. So that gives you time. Hi, Angelina. So that gives you time, a little time, the same thing. Okay, it doesn't want to work for me. There we go. Alrighty. And Buddha Sadhana. There we go. Perfect. Okay. And here's you guys again. Great. All right. So so we always start with what's called bodhicitta motivation. Okay, so bodhicitta, to be brief, is the wish to attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. So sentient means anyone, anything with consciousness. So that means human beings, that means animals, and there are also other realms that are considered in the makeup of all sentient beings. So that is the whole thrust of this path, okay? It's to attain enlightenment for others, right? So that we can help them, to be free of suffering. So bodhicitta begins with, but is not synonymous with, compassion. Compassion rising when we see the suffering of others, right? And then from that, we mix it with wisdom, which understands the cause of suffering, and that becomes bodhicitta. Okay, so if that doesn't make any sense to you, or not really your cup of tea, that's perfectly fine. It just please make the wish, like a strong wish, that the time we spend together this morning is beneficial, not only for you personally, but for other people as well, or people and animals. Hopefully you are including the poor animals. Okay. And we also think of our teachers. We have the great good fortune of having Jigme Khyentse Rinpoche, Tulku Pema Rinpoche, and Taku Matu Rinpoche as our beloved teachers, who are incredible, and so, just their whole being and their whole life is dedicated to helping others attain enlightenment. So we're really, really fortunate to have a connection with them. All right, so we're going to, as I said, we're going to start with meditation. And today is a Buddha day, so we're going to go OG Buddha, right? And we're just going to do mindfulness of breathing practice today. Mindfulness of breathing in Sanskrit is called anapanasati. And this is actually the first meditation taught by the Buddha. It's the foundation for any other practice we might do, for any other types of meditation that we might do. We need to start with training the mind to focus, to be in the present moment. Sorry, I sort of ran out of time today, so normally I have all this set up ahead of time. Anyway, to train the mind to be in the present moment, okay, to be aware. So mindfulness of breathing practice helps us to learn when the mind is distracted and when the mind is aware, and then how to bring the distracted mind into awareness, back to awareness. Okay, so why? Who cares, right? Who cares if I'm distracted and I'm just walking around and I'm just thinking about everything but where I am and what I'm doing? It's true. I mean, if you just want to live your life as you have been since you were born and you know, countless previous lives before, and continue to turn in cyclic existence, which is we're born, we live, we die, then we're born in another form, we live, we die, and then we're born in another form, we live, we die, and each of our lives include a certain amount of suffering, right? So if we don't care about that, and if we don't care about the suffering of others, sure, we don't have to practice meditation. We don't have to study the teachings. Nobody's forcing us to do those things. But if we want to, you know, increase our awareness, if we want to increase our patience, or I don't know what the right word is, maybe access, because from the Buddhist point of view, um, we begin from fundamental uh, goodness or Buddha nature. And other videos that I've done in the past talk a little bit more about that if that's an interesting thing for you. So, what that means is that we are fundamentally good. We have within us already, excuse me, all the qualities of enlightenment. Okay. So when I say increase compassion, increase patience, or whatever, it's not introducing something into ourselves that we don't already have. Okay. What we're doing is kind of accessing that. We're like removing the veils to understanding that and to realizing that. So that's what practice is about. No matter what kind of practice we're doing, it's really ultimately about that. Okay. So I'm sure that, maybe all of you or most of you already know how to do this meditation, but I don't know who's here. So maybe some of you don't. Maybe this is your first time. So I do want to explain it a little bit. And, you know, yeah, so I just want to explain it a little bit. Okay. So what we do is we take a certain posture, which I'll explain in a minute, and what we do with our mind is we try to keep our awareness on the sensation of the breath coming in and out of the nose. So we're kind of focusing here, sort of towards the end of the nose. And we're just trying to, there's a whole process of the breathing, right? We inhale, it goes into the lungs. We exhale, typically there's a little gap there before the next inhalation. All right. So we're trying to keep the mind with that whole process. I'm sorry, but we're just in the beginning, at least, just focusing at the end of the nostrils. So the breath comes in, the breath goes out. There's a gap. The breath comes in, the breath goes out, and we want to stay with that process continuously. All right, and but we don't want to grasp at it. We don't want to kind of squeeze the life out of it, right? I love the example, and I will always use this example because I think it's a perfect example. That I don't know who came up with it, but it's a great example. So if you imagine a butterfly on a swaying flower, like in the breeze, my hands look so white. Okay, you imagine that. So the flower is moving back and forth, like our breath. Sorry, that's my dog. So okay, and the butterfly just stays with it continuously. All right, it's not crushing the flower. Um, what are we doing with our thoughts, right? A lot of times people make the mistake of thinking that meditation is about stopping the thoughts, pushing them away, or pushing them down. It's not at all that. Okay, meditation, what we do with the thoughts is we just let them be without getting involved. So a thought will arise, dwell, and disappear, and we will be replaced immediately with another thought that arises, dwells, and disappears. Okay, that's just a continuous process. So we don't try to stop that process, but we try not to get involved. Just notice that we're thinking, we come back to the breath. Okay, it's normal that at some point we will get completely distracted. We'll forget where we are. We'll forget that we're supposed to be meditating. And then at some point, oh, yeah, well, I'm supposed to be meditating. Don't make a big deal of that. That's exactly what we're trying to do. So if you realize you're distracted, that's a victory. Okay? So Now we should get to it. Okay. All right, guys. So the posture, if you're sitting in a chair, just put your feet flat on the floor, okay, in front of you, just flat on the floor. If you are on the floor, just sit in a way that is comfortable for you, with like cross-legged. And all the other instructions are exactly the same. All right, so palms down on the knees or in your lap, palms resting like this, or your fingers on top of each other and your thumbs touching like that, but in your lap. Okay, arms are relaxed, back is straight, back of the neck is also straight, so chin tucked in, shoulders slightly back. So just roll your shoulders back like that, and that'll open up your chest and make it nice. Mouth closed, breathing through the nose, eyes slightly downward, open, slightly downward. So just look straight ahead and then kind of lower your eyes halfway. So that's what we're doing with our body. Really simple. Focusing on the breath, light touch awareness of the breath, equally aware of whatever is happening around us, but not letting it distract us. Keeping the mind on the breath, bringing it back when we get distracted. I'll ring the gong to start and also to finish. Okay. Now you can begin to count the breaths, counting either every in breath or every out breath up to a total of 10 breaths. So if you get lost in the middle because you got distracted, no big deal, should be a victory. Just bring the mind back, start again at 1. If you get to 10, again, no big deal, just come back, start again at 1. If you go beyond 10, it's another form of distraction. As soon as you realize that, bring the mind back, start again at 1. Okay, so let's begin that now. Check your posture. Bring the mind back to the breath. Your body should be as relaxed as possible while maintaining the posture. So just check that you're relaxed. And your mind, too, should be as relaxed as possible while maintaining awareness of the breath. It's very hard to be an animal, even a lucky one like Omani. They don't understand anything. You can't explain anything to them that they will get for the most part, except especially something complicated like being sick and in pain, things like that. And they can't practice the Dharma. They can't understand the Dharma. So that's why it's considered one of the lower realms. Okay, little fun fact there. So we're going to start the Buddha Sadhana now. And we're going to do we're going to read all the small writing, and we're also going to do everything in English and Tibetan. If we have something that we repeat several times, I will let you know. Okay. So we'll start from that first line there. Namo Guru Shakyamunaye. In the Samadhi Raja Sutra, it is said, for all who, while walking, sitting, standing, or sleeping, think of the moon-like Buddha, the Buddha is always in front of them, and they will attain the vast nirvana. And his pure body is the color of gold, utterly beautiful in every way as the protector of the world. To visualize him like this is to meditate like the Bodhisattvas. Accordingly, one should do the practice of remembering our teacher, the incomparable Buddha Shakyamuni. It is as follows. Begin by saying the prayers of refuge and bodhicitta and of the four boundless meditations. So each of these next 4-line prayers we'll do once in English and twice in Tibetan. Okay. In the jewels of the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, we take refuge until we attain enlightenment. By the merit of practicing generosity and the like, may we attain Buddhahood for the benefit of beings. Sangye chudan tsuki chonam la chanchu padu dani kyapsu chi dagi jiso ki pe sanam ki chola penche sangye chupa shu. Sangye chudan tsuki chonam la chanchu padu dani kyapsu chi Dagi jiso ki pe sonam ki drola benche sange drupa sho. May all beings come to possess happiness and the cause of happiness. May they come to be free from suffering and the cause of suffering. May they never separate from the happiness which is without suffering. May they come to rest in the boundless equanimity which is free from both attachment to loved ones and hatred for others. Samchen tamche dewa dan dewe gyu dan dempa gyu shi dunga dan dunga ki gyu dan dewa gyu shi dunga mepe dewa dampa dan mindra wa gyu shi Nedin chadan nidan chawe tanyon se me palan empa gyu shi Samchen tamche dewa dan dewe gyu dan dempa gyu shi Dungel dan dunga ki gyu dan jawa gyu shi Dunga mebe dewa dampa dan mindra wa gyu shi Nidin chadan nida jawe danyo Seme palan empa gyu shi. Now, the next section is the visualization. So this, pardon me, we'll do once in English and once in Tibetan. As a magical display, the union of the unborn emptiness and the unceasing manifestation of interdependent origination. Visualize in front of one in the sky infinite clouds of offerings, in the middle of which, upon a jeweled lion throne, lotus, sun, and moon is the incomparable teacher, the lion of the Shakyas, the color of gold, endowed with the major and minor marks, wearing the 3 Dharma robes and seated in Vajra posture. His right hand is stretched out in the gesture of touching the earth. His left hand, in the mudra of equanimity, holds an alms bowl filled with nectar. He shines in splendor and majesty like a golden mountain, his wisdom filling space with the plexus of rays of light. He is surrounded by infinite retinues, hosts of exalted beings, the 8 closed suns, the 16 Shtaviras, and others. On those who so much as think of him, he bestows complete liberation. from the two extremes of samsara and nirvana, the glory of supreme bliss. Visualize him as the great being who embodies all the objects of refuge. Okay, now go back. I'm going to do it in Tibetan. I'm sorry, you guys. Hai ke me tung pa ni dan tan jungi nang wa ga me sun chu kyu me tsu ran dun nam ka che ching gyam se Chen San Tri Penny Dawei Chen Pa Tsu Me Sha Kya Senge Ni Sa Ki Do Chen San Dan Pe Che Den Che ge sun se don je ki jun shu cha ye san cha yang le kyan shin cha yen yan sha du ci lu se Nam Seki Rita Si Ji Pemba Ye She Zedra We Kai Kya Nye We Segi Ne ten chudru so pa tso gyam se ko ki yung ko shin dren pa sam ki si shi tani Nam dru de wa chogi petsa wa kya ken du be dani chen po sa. Okay. If one visualizes the Buddha like this and thinks that he is actually there, then the moment one does so, wherever one visualizes him, there he will truly be. Since the wisdom body of the Buddha is not subject in any way to limits of space or time. For it is said in the sutras, for all who think of the Buddha, he dwells there in front of them. He continually blesses them and frees them from all evil. The merit accumulated through visualizing the Buddha is an inexhaustible root of virtue which will never be wasted, as it says in the Avatamsaka Sutra. Through seeing, hearing, and making offerings to those Buddhas, a measureless mass of merit will grow. Until all the kileshas and suffering of samsara are discarded, this compounded merit will not be exhausted. Whatever prayers of aspiration are made in front of him, they will be fulfilled, as is mentioned in the Manjushri Kasedra Vyuha, the teachings on the qualities of the Buddha field of Manjushri. All phenomena arise from circumstances and depend on the intention. Whatever prayers a person makes, they will accordingly attain the fruit. Developing firm confidence in the truth of these teachings, recite the following. Okay, now this one we will do once in English, once in Tibetan. Out of great compassion, you took care of this world of degeneration and strife and made 500 great prayers of aspiration. You are praised as a white lotus. Whoever hears your name will not return to samsara. Compassionate teacher, I submit obeisance to you. The wealth and accumulation of merit of body, speech, and mind of myself and others I offer, visualizing them as a Samantabhadra cloud of offerings. All the negative actions and downfalls I have accumulated since beginning this time, without exception, I confess each one with strong, heartfelt regret. I rejoice at the merit accumulated in the past, present, and future by the exalted beings and by ordinary beings. The wheel of Dharma of the profound and vast teachings, I request you to turn uninterruptedly in the 10 directions. Although your wisdom body, like the sky, remains without changing throughout the 3 times, according to the perception of beings, you demonstrate birth and death. Yet may you appear in the Nirmanakaya form forever. Through the merits I accumulate in the past, present, and future, in order to benefit all beings throughout all space, may I constantly gladden the King of Dharma and attain the level of the conqueror, Lord of Dharma. Through your kindness, compassionately caring, especially for us unprotected beings of the degenerate age, whatever appearance there is of the 3 jewels in refuge, as I pray to you from my heart with total confidence, great promise you made in the past, care for us with compassion until we attain enlightenment. Okay, so back to the previous page. Ninje chen pe tsu den ni me shi sun ne mun lam chen po nga kya ta pe ka ta nga tsen te chi mi do Tun pa tu che chen la cha tse da shen go ge tso non che che ken san che pe trin du mi bu to me ne sa di jin ma lu pa ni ne gyu pa dra pe so sha pa dan so se ge wa ni de sun sa da je su yi sab jing ya che chu gi ko lu tsu cho chu gyu ni che ba ko du su Kyuni nam ka ta bu ye shi ku tu sun po gyu me pa shu ki de chen na ngo ke ji tsu de kya Tru pe su pu ta du na ma su da gi du sum sa pe ge tsu ki ka kya dro kun la pe du Chö ki kya po tha du nye che chi chö je kya we gong pan tu pa shu da cha ni me ro a tu che la pa su e ka Shin dan de re chen nam su ki nam wa chi ne ke ki chen de che kya cho tsu me chi pu ru che de pe mi ne su de na nun ki dam cha chen bo ma Chan chu pa tu tu che che si Now, with strong, confident devotion, concentrate one-pointedly on the form of the Buddha, thinking that he is actually there, and recite as much as possible the following. So here we're going to say once in English and twice in Tibetan. Guru, teacher, Bhagavat, Tathagata, Arahat, perfect Buddha, glorious conqueror, Shakyamuni, I submit obeisance to you, I make offerings, I take refuge. Lama Chompa Chomden De Deshin Sheba Dra Chompa Yan Daba Sobe Sangeba Kewa Shakya Chupala Cha Tsalo Chudo Kyapsu Chi Lama Tumba Chomden De Deshin Sheba Dra Chompa Yan Daba Sobe Sangepe Gewa Shakya Chupala Cha Tselo Chodu Kyapsu Chi O. Okay, so for some reason, the next small writing is like a sentence above the mantra and a sentence below. So we'll read that and then we'll do the mantra. Next, recite as many times as is appropriate this Dharani or mantra mentioned in the abridged Prajnaparamita as being the way to invoke the mind of the Buddha. Then recite as much as possible the same Dharani beginning from Om. During all this, concentrate one-pointedly on the visualization with devotion, remembering the qualities of the Buddha. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say it 3 times beginning with Teyata, a few times beginning with Om, okay? And then just finish off the mala, which is this. If you don't have one, no problem. Just kind of say the mantra to yourself until I indicate that we're done, okay? Teyata Om Muni Muni Maha Munaye Soha Teyata Om Muni Muni Maha Munaye Soha Teyata Om Muni Muni Maha Munaye Soha 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 Om Muni Muni Maha Munaye Soha. Let me finish now. Om Muni Muni Maha Munaye Soha. Om Muni Muni. Om Muni Muni Maha Munaye Soha. Om Muni Consider that through the power of reciting the names of the Buddha and reciting the Dharani, the following happens, okay? So with this, we read once in English, once in Tibetan. From the body of the Buddha shines a great light of multicolored rays of wisdom light, dispelling the obscurations of myself and all beings, perfecting the qualities of the Mahayana path and establishing us on the level of non-returner. Tunpe kule yesheki yasena tsope nangwa chenpe dadan semchen danche ki dripa danche sashin teba chenpe lamki yunten sushin tu ke te chimi dope sanum bayu. Endeavor as much as you can in this practice. Okay, so please turn to page 7. Okay, so it's 7, right? Yeah. So we're going to say the last 4 lines here, once in English, once in Tibetan, and both times you repeat this like phrase at the bottom in, it's actually Sanskrit. Okay. The ground is purified with scented water and strewn with flowers. It is adorned by Sumeru, the 4 continents, and the sun and moon. Thinking of it as a blessed Buddha field, we offer it. May all beings enjoy the happiness of the perfectly pure Buddha fields. Idam Ratna Mandala Kamira Dayami. Now in Tibetan. Sashi Puki Chukchi Mejo Tra Priram Dinchi Ninde Gampadi Sangye Shintu Mite Puwai Trokanam Dakshina Chepasho Idam Ratna Mandala Kamira Dayami. Now please turn to page 9, which is the last page. And this one, also same thing, once in English, once in Tibetan. This is a dedication prayer. The miraculous display of the unsurpassable wisdom appears as the intentions, deeds, prayers, knowledge, love, and ability of all the Sagatas and their sons and daughters. May all beings become exactly like them. Ishe seche kunki duke don sepa munlam kense nupe tso lame yeshe gyuntu chitrawa tidra kona drokun gyuwa sho. Okay, now we do the closing prayers. Okay. So we begin with this prayer to Prana Shavari. She is an emanation of the female Buddha Tara. Okay, and Rinpoche gave us this prayer and mantra, or exposed this to us, whatever you want to say, because she's very powerful against disease. And so, of course, as everybody knows, we have this pandemic raging. So this is to help against that. Excuse me. So here we're going to say this once in English, once in Tibetan, and we're going to say the mantra, let's say 7 times. Lady, Holy One, enlightened and compassionate, appear now as the leaf-clad goddess, healer of disease. Do not turn away, but in compassion take myself and all beings of this age of 5 degenerations. Perform your deeds of soothing, purging, and cauterizing all the pains of illness, plagues, and pestilence. Jetsun chomden de ma tu che chen ri chu lu ma gyun mei gu shen shi. Da so ni ma nga do sem chen la tu che ya wa ma do je su sun. Ni rim yan ne gu we ne dung shi do so tu se bei trin ne zo. Om Vishatsi Pana Shavari Sawa Zola Prashamanaye Soha. 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 Now we do 4 long life prayers. And these we're just going to do in Tibetan. You can read the English later or as we're saying it in Tibetan. Okay. Kanri wawe koe shinkam su pendande wa malu juene chenre siwan tinsing yam sui shape gega batu tengyu shi. Om swasti jigme rabjam se chinaki kinse dukarun sin udencho. Samsumishi doje tatenchin tender mempe trine tashi sho. Om swasti sela gyamsu chin lab tunjune lunsen takse gyuchu pema wang. Sansum nadre gyapo tatene labshan tende shejun tage sho. Lama kunkam sampo soade choto kutse ringwa soade jine tashinge pa soade lama dandre wa me pa chingilo. Next one we read once in English, once in Tibetan, the next 3 just in English, and then we say the Vajrasattva mantra at the end to purify any mistakes we might have made. By this merit, may all attain omniscience, may defeat the enemy, wrongdoing. From the stormy waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death, from the ocean of cyclic existence, may I free all beings. Sonam di tamche sikbani, tone ne pedranam pamche shing, keganachi balon trupayi. Sipe sule joa joa sho. May bodhicitta, precious and sublime, arise where it has not yet come to be, and where it has arisen, may it never fail but grow and flourish ever more and more. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain and dispel the miseries of the world. Ever absorbed in the display of divine forms and primordial awareness, appearance, sound, and perception in the state of divinities, mantras, and dharmakaya, may I, inseparable from the practice of the profound and secret great yoga, attain within the essence of mind the state of one taste. Om Vajra Sattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajra Sattva Tenopa Tishta Tritu Me Bhava Sudokayo Me Bhava Subokayo Me Bhava Anurato me bawa so asidi me prayatsa so akama sutsame chitam shriyam kuruhu ha 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 ho bhagavan savatata gata vajramame mutsa vajribhavama samaya sattva. Okay. So, before we close out, I want to just tell you a couple things. First of all, if you have a question about anything, now's your chance. Put it in the chat box, and I'll do my best to answer it. I also wanted to let you know that there's another video here on this channel where I explain in detail the sadhana. So if you had any questions about the sadhana, that's the place to go, okay? And then I want to let you know that this coming Sunday and the following Sunday, I will not be here on YouTube, okay? But December 13th, we have another session here on YouTube talking about the Four Noble Truths and then doing some meditation. I also want to bring your attention to all the links in the description below. You have our website, newsletter sign up, Facebook pages, lots of things down there. If you can make a donation, it would be so, so helpful for us. Even though we're not at the center now, we still have all the bills of being at the center because we didn't abandon it, right? So we have, rent and utilities and insurance and salaries and all kinds of stuff. Doesn't matter, if you can only give a buck or $5 or if you can give $200, depends on your budget, right? But if you can, there's a link below for that, and we'd really appreciate it. What else did I want to tell you? Oh, yes. So on this Friday, we have movie night, which is always fun. That's on Zoom. So if you look in the newsletter, you look on our website, there's a link for that. And so we'll be watching a movie together this Friday. And then just the first weekend of December, which is the 5th and 6th of December, I believe, we're going to do a seminar on managing depression. So that is going to be approached both through a therapeutic standpoint and through a Buddhist standpoint. So we have a guest whose name is Mara Lipinski, and she is she's a local therapist. She has a very good reputation, and so she'll be representing the therapeutic side, and I'll be doing the Buddhism side. So that is first weekend of December, like I said, 12:30 to 3:30 both days. We want to be really, really clear, especially for this one. It's our usual policy in any case to work with people who don't have a lot of finances, with money troubles, okay? So, but we want to really emphasize it with this one because it's going to be important for anyone who actually has depression or knows somebody who has depression, okay? This is going to be quite helpful to you. So if you can't afford it, please let us know. There's a link on the site. You just need to fill out this simple form, and then we're so happy to work with you in whatever way is possible. Having said that, if you do have means, then we ask you to, just pay a little bit more so that we can cover the cost of those who are less fortunate. Okay? So, does anybody have any questions? If you don't, then we will just go. So I'm just going to wait 1 second here to see if anybody writes anything in there. No. Okay. All right. So thank you again so much for joining me this morning. And I really apologize for all the mess with my I just couldn't help it. Denada, Angelina, thank you. And thanks again for coming. And I hope to see you soon. Okay. Bye, guys.